Ever pondered why the apps you love come with such hefty price tags? Well, the answer to that question is more complex than you might think, and it involves some pretty big players. One of the tech giants, Google, found itself at the center of an antitrust lawsuit filed by state prosecutors in July of 2021. This legal battle revolved around the high fees Google was charging app developers, which in turn bumped up the price of your favorite apps. The crux of the issue? Google was accused of using contracts to unfairly restrict competition in its app store. This alleged practice not only hurt the developers, but also us, the end users. The result? A less diverse app market and yes, those hefty price tags on your go-to apps. This lawsuit was more than just a legal tussle. It was about the future of your apps, the ones you use every day from your morning alarm to your bedtime story. It's about how we, as consumers, interact with technology and how big tech companies respond to allegations of unfair practices. As we delve into this intriguing story, hold on to your seats because this is a roller coaster ride of tech giants, legal battles, and the future of your beloved apps. In July 2021, the first salvo was launched when the lawsuit was filed. This marked the beginning of a significant legal challenge against one of the world's tech giants, Google. State prosecutors accused Google of using contracts to unfairly stifle competition in its app store, a claim that would send ripples through the technology industry. As the lawsuit unfurled, the allegations against Google became the talk of the town. High fees for app developers, restrictive contracts, and the company's dominance in the App Store market were scrutinized. The tech world watched as Google, known for its innovation and influence, found itself under the legal microscope. Google was not without its defenses, though. The company argued that its practices were standard in the industry and necessary for maintaining the quality and security of its App Store. It also pointed out the benefit it provides to developers by offering a platform to reach millions of users worldwide. The debate between the two sides was heated, to say the least. However, the lawsuit had wider implications, particularly for app developers and consumers. Developers hoped for a level playing field where they could compete fairly and not be burdened by high fees. Consumers, on the other hand, anticipated lower app prices and increased innovation as a result of the legal proceedings. The lawsuit's outcome had the potential to reshape the app industry entirely. But this was not the only legal trouble for Google. The U.S. Justice Department also filed 2 other antitrust cases against the company, putting further pressure on the technology titan. These cases added another layer of complexity to the situation, as they tackled different aspects of Google's business practices. The battle lines were drawn, and the tech world watched with bated breath as the courtroom drama unfolded. This lawsuit was more than a legal dispute. It was a call for change in the technology industry, and its outcome would set a precedent for future cases. The stage was set for a showdown that would shape the future of the app industry. Fast forward to today, the dust has finally settled, and a verdict has been reached. Google, the tech giant, has agreed to cough up a whopping $700 million to settle an antitrust lawsuit. The charges, brought by state prosecutors, were over the high fees Google was charging app developers. Now let's break down that settlement. A chunky $630 million of this fund will be divided among an estimated 102 million eligible consumers across all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The remaining $70 million will be used by the states to resolve other related claims. So, what does this mean for you and me? Well, this settlement is expected to usher in lower app prices and a wave of increased innovation. That's right, more bang for your buck and a surge of creative app development. It's a win-win. But what about Google's future practices? The company has agreed to simplify the process for users to download apps from third-party sources and allow app developers to use third-party payment systems. This means more choices for us, the consumers. This lawsuit, originally filed in July 2021, accused Google of using contracts to unfairly restrict competition in its App Store. Although Google is still facing 2 other antitrust cases filed by the U.S. Justice Department, this settlement marks a significant step towards a more open and competitive tech landscape. With the gavel finally down, the tech landscape seems to be shifting. So what does this mean for you, your apps, and your wallet? Well, in a nutshell, Google's hefty settlement will likely result in more affordable apps and foster innovation. Google's pledge to streamline downloading from third-party sources also promises a more user-friendly experience. Plus, app developers can now utilize third-party payment systems, opening the doors for more competition. This lawsuit's implications are significant, altering how we engage with our favorite apps and potentially transforming our digital existence. The ripple effects of this lawsuit are bound to be felt far and wide, shaping the way we interact with our beloved apps and possibly our digital lives. Stay tuned for more tech updates and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.